Hi everybody and welcome back. My name's Melissa and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. Um so let me preface this by saying I am not a very sweaty person, and I think that's really important at the start of this because while this works for me, it might not work for you. Even when I was morbidly obese, I sweat, but at that point I sweat more like a normal person than a morbidly obese person. As a teenager, I barely sweat. And now I barely sweat again. So I think that's important for y'all to know going into this. So this summer I realized that sometimes I would forget to put on deodorant. And it kind of shocked me that I wasn't really that, I didn't get smelly. I was like, what? And I was like, well, it's probably because in the summer, I kind of get obsessed with showering. I don't like to, if I have to put on bug spray, then as soon as I don't need bug spray anymore, I have to shower. Same with sunscreen and everything else. So in the summer, I will shower 2 to 4 times a day. So I just kind of attributed it to that. But then I got the wool dress. And with the wool dress, you cannot use normal deodorant. And they actually suggested I use the crystal deodorant. And if you use this, I am sorry, but for me, it just felt weird. And I was like, this does nothing. I think crystals are pretty to look at, but that is about the extent of usefulness I have found in my personal experience with crystals. Though I really like the prism ones where they make the rainbows all over. Anyways, I digress. So I had to find a solution. And so so I don't use baby powder. I use cornstarch, and I just, put it in a mason jar or whatever with one of the plastic lids. And I used that. If you're a woman of a certain age, you know that there's certain areas that, can benefit from some cornstarch. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, I wonder if I could use that in my armpits to absorb sweat and everything. Because I was like, I have tried other natural deodorants. I have not liked any of them. I have issues with smells. Fragrances, I have 2 problems with fragrances. One, the smell component and the factor that a lot of them have neurodisruptors in them cause me issues with sensory, migraines, nausea, all of that. So that's problem 1 with fragrances. And problem 2 is a contact dermatitis, rash, really huge irritation. And in your armpits, that can be a huge problem. So but I also don't like I have this thing about my armpits. When I was younger, I was really weird. I would lotion my armpits because I didn't want dry skin in the armpits. So all of that said, in the summer, my go-to lotion, body lotion, is coconut oil. I slather myself in it. I'm this oily, slippery, whatever. It's just kind of my thing. So I was like, okay, well, I'll do that or whatever. And I mean, I guess technically I've been getting coconut oil in my armpits, I'm sure, all summer for years, because you put lotion on here and you put it on here, it's gonna rub up into your armpits logically. So, I did that. And then I got this little it's just a makeup brush, though. I mean, sorry, it does need to be cleaned, but I simply use it. You know, I can either do the whole like you did with like powder when you were younger, how you kind of like rub it on there to like get excess on or whatever. Or I can do it in the thing. And then when I'm done, I just close it back up. But I use this now. I got this. It was like $5-ish, I want to say. It was on clearance though, so I think it's like normally 10. And I just use it to apply to my armpits and stuff to like, I don't know, create a neater, like it's kind of hard to do that. Maybe it wouldn't be as hard for you. Maybe it's a coordination issue for me. Could definitely be a coordination issue. But I've been doing that, right? And so after about a month, I was like, it's weird because there's like no smell. And then I thought about it. I was like, I wonder if coconut oil is antimicrobial. So I looked it up, and I guess something with like the MCT fatty chain acids it is. Now I don't know if it would necessarily work. Like, I was reading it, and it was like the theory was that if you eat enough of it, it's supposed to like increase gut health. I don't know about that. I'm not a doctor. But there are some antimicrobial factors. So then I dove deeper, and I found out that I guess a lot of natural deodorants use coconut oil as like a base. So then I looked even further, and you can make your own DIY natural deodorant with like coconut oil, cornstarch, baking soda, and essential oils. Well, essential oils I'm skipping because, you know, previous aforementioned issues. And then the baking soda seemed like it would be gritty. And then like, why am I going to go to the work of making it? So I didn't necessarily make it. I just used 2 of the 4 components. And one of them is the essential oils is just for scent. It offers no like benefit other than that. And the baking soda's purpose is to obviously reduce odor. Because, you know, like you put it in your fridge, you put it in your freezer, like you get it. What's baking soda for? But in my experience, I have had no issues. And mind you, like it was a really hot September and October until like this week. We had some really hot days, like days in the 90s. And I have no AC in my car. It broke and I didn't bother to fix it. And then I have had no issues with like smelliness or anything like that. And I'm one of those weird people, like I notice things like that, and I don't know if it's like the heightened sense of smell issue that I've always had, but like I've always been that person who I'm like, oh, I smell bad, and people are like, no, I don't smell you. Like I actually, like most people, most of the time I guess other people smell you first, but I tend to smell like different aspects of me. Like, but again, it's a weird thing. Like I always knew when my kid was little, when he was sick, and I still kind of do, when he's like sick with like an infection type thing, like a virus or whatever, because he smells different. Like, so smell is kind of a big thing for me, and I haven't had issues. So coconut oil is cheap. You can get it for like $5-6 at Aldi, Trader Joe's, I think Walmart. But I get the unrefined kind. And then it's got like a coconutty smell, obviously, but cornstarch has really no smell, and it's super simple. And it's just I've been like gradually trying to hone in on my hygiene routine over the past few months and like minimize product use and everything else. But I really do like this method. So I don't know if it'd necessarily work for you. I'm not going to guarantee it does. I'm not a doctor. I am not a scientist, but it has worked for me. What I read online was that people use coconut oil, cornstarch, baking soda, and essential oils to make a DIY deodorant. But what I do, and it's just super lazy, is I just rub some coconut oil on my armpits and use the cornstarch, and it works. And so, I honestly, I haven't necessarily done the experiment with anybody else, but try it. It's cheap, it's easy, and it could save you money. So that's today's tip. Anyways, again, my name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.